Today, we are going to make a scarecrow, and this is what my scarecrow is going to look like when we're done. I'm going to go through the steps really quickly, and if you notice, I kind of helped you out, and I'm going to draw mine in Sharpie, but you all should have a U on your paper. And the reason I have a U is because I want to make sure that you draw your scarecrow big enough to fill the paper. Now, to start out with, I'm going to make a straight line across the top of my scarecrow. You guys are just going to watch right now. Remember I said we're just going to watch. And then I'm going to make the top of my hat. There's my scarecrow hat. Right underneath here, I'm going to make another straight line because our scarecrow is on a post, and we're going to make, he's got a post hanging through the back of his shirt. Once I made this line, then I made a square underneath it. Then he's got ragtag pants, so I'm using a rectangle shape and little triangles out the bottom to make my scarecrow. On his shirt, I'm going to make some buttons and maybe a little pocket. And scarecrows are usually made out of old clothes, so I'm going to put a few patches. Now, here's where it can be fun. Our scarecrows are meant to scare off birds. So I'm going to make there's my scarecrow. For my scarecrow hair, it's just straw. So I'm just going to draw some straight lines for the straw. He's got some straw coming out of his arms and some straw coming out of his legs. I always like to think of my scarecrow wearing an old flannel shirt, so I'm going to draw some stripes. How many of you have a mom or dad that likes to wear flannel? Flannel's got plaid, they've got lines. It looks like a checkerboard. So I'm just adding some design, some pattern to my shirt.
I have one of those.
Then, down here at the bottom, I'm going to draw a horizon line, and the horizon line's where my sky meets my field. And I'm going to draw some wheat in my field. So I'm just kind of making some designs. And that's what my scarecrow is going to look like very quickly. Maybe you're saying, well, I want my scarecrow to look a little different. So again, I'm going to start with a hat. Maybe you want to do a rectangle for a hat instead of a circle. And I'm still going to do my rectangle arms, but this time I'm going to let my scarecrow be in a dress.
No, not mine.
So you can decide if you want it to have a dress, and I'm going to give it the buttons. And I'm still going to give it plaid. That's totally up to you if you want to have it wearing a dress or if you want it to wearing pants. I'm going to go lines this way. And again, I'm going to get up, and here's the stake. Then I'm going to draw the field. Some straw out of this arm, some straw out of this arm. But I'm going to give, and then maybe up on this hat, I'm going to give it a flower. Same. So, you can have a boy scarecrow or a girl scarecrow. It doesn't matter. which one you want.
Boy.
It's totally up to you. But we're going to draw ours in pencil first today to get started. When you're all done drawing your scarecrow and you've outlined everything in a Sharpie, I'm going to come by and spray it with a little water. And then, that's one reason you have the paintbrush. When it's wet, you're going to start covering it with the tissue paper. All over your paper, you want to cover it with the tissue. That's why we get your paper wet.
So it can stick?
So it'll stick. You don't want to use the white paper. There's some white tissue paper in there, but you want to cover your whole paper.
Oh.
You want to cover your whole paper.
Put water on it.